Meow, 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 meow. Welcome back to another episode on the O and J YouTube channel. I'm your co-host Jeremiah.
I'm your co-host, Orlando.
Before we get too far, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, share,
Turn on
all that
post
good stuff. Oh, what happened?
turn on post notifications. Did we say
Yeah,
that
that
one?
too.
Hey,
Yeah, that. But yeah, we got a packed show. Um, but what we got first?
you know what we got first?
Where do we begin?
We begin with your man,
Pause.
Ed Paul,
God dang.
with your franchise player,
Okay.
SGA winning a second consecutive MVP award. How you
Facts.
feel?
Uh, remember that time I was talking about like the old OKC and it was like more like it was so fun to watch just because like you don't really like you're kind of building towards something. So it's kind of like more fun because it's like a process. But then now that it's like we're like we've been the one seed pretty much what the past two, 3 seasons, I don't know. Like past two, 3 seasons. Like it's cool, but it's like we made it, you know? And it's like what's next? You know? Like back then, Shea was, his shot selection was questionable. Like Lou Dort barely hit jumpers. Like it was spooky. But now, you know what I mean? Like Shea's a back-to-back MVP. First, I mean, congrats. I mean, that's great. Uh finish the season shooting 55% from the field as a guard. You know how wild that is? That's almost 60% as a guard, bro. You know how wild that is?
Impressive.
That is like wild. That is like scary good. But yeah, I mean, another great season, third straight season averaging 30. Um, I mean, it doesn't look like, I mean, hopefully I'm I'm right, but it doesn't look like he's slowing down. It looks like he's reached his flow state. He's kind of stamped himself as one of the premier guards in the league, and he puts that on display on a night by night basis, and has helped lead his team up until this point to a undefeated playoffs. Hopefully, I didn't jinx them, for game one, against the Spurs. But I mean, the Spurs have been probably the toughest challenge for OKC this year anyway. So I doubt this is a sweep. But yeah, no, another great season from Shea. Um, of course you do hear of different, I mean, we'll get into that, I guess, after. But um, yeah, another great season though, for sure.
It's incredible the come up that Shea has had.
Talk about
As
it.
you mentioned, just going from the man who was, I guess you could say he was the second fiddle to Chris Paul back when the last time they went to the playoffs. Um, to
That was
then
such a valuable year. My bad. You
to
just got
then
me
now
reminiscing.
being the star of this team with two consecutive MVPs. 55% is absolutely crazy.
That is wild.
That's crazy.
That is wild.
It really puts into perspective some of the things that he does. Um, because I know, we've talked about it before. OKC gets the whistle. And I think some people will try to say, Shea's averaging 30 because he's getting out the whistle. But then you look at he's shooting 55% from the field. It's absolutely crazy. Um,
What do you
so
say
yeah,
about that?
Just shout out to him. Shout out
Is
to
there
him.
a
That's a crazy
whistle?
thing.
Is there a whistle for that?
Crazy thing.
And
But
I got
somebody needs to step up. Two consecutive. Then someone should get some hunger and not want him to get three in a row.
yeah, and I mean, and I gotta correct myself. It's actually his fourth straight season of 30 points a game. So he's definitely 30 points and 50% or more from the field. So it's definitely he's there. You know, and I mean he can get better. You know, he can get better. So yeah, I mean, and I think Jokic would have been a close just because I mean back to back years of triple doubles. You know what I mean? Like as a center, it's like it's super impressive. You know what I mean? But I guess they did put some team success, you know, in as a big part, you know, of the situation. And I mean, it is true though. Like OKC doesn't run without Shea. You know what I mean? Like he just they're on a whole nother level when he's on the court. You know what I mean? Leading them out there. So I mean, most valuable player. I mean, you can't argue the same for Jokic because he is kind of the same for his team as well. But I mean, you know, number one seed, averaging 30. 55% from the field. I mean, that's incredible. That's incredible.
Oh, shout out to OKC, man. Shout out to OKC.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm glad you brought it. I was gonna kind of add on to your point too. I mean, that year with Chris Paul has to be like one of the more valuable.
I feel like that's
It's,
your favorite all-time year in OKC history sometimes.
nah, it is. It's up there. For sure. Billy Donovan had him. He had him playing. Uh, whether it was Billy Donovan or Chris Paul or you
Well, I'll
know
give the credit to Chris Paul.
or Billy Paul, Chris Donovan. I mean, it don't
Cliff
matter.
Paul.
Cliff Paul, like you know, they were playing, you know, and I mean they almost beat a really good Rockets team. You know what I mean? It took them like 6 or 7 games. Like I mean, Chris Paul was just. I watch those highlights like every now and then. Like that was a really special season. Like that was a really special season. But
Y'all should have gave him a contract this for this season, man. Y'all shouldn't have let him leave like that, bro.
yeah. I mean, I don't. I mean, who's he supposed to retire with, though? Do you think? Like, is he supposed to retire with the Pelicans, or should he have retired with the Clippers?
He was supposed to retire with the Clippers, but now he just retired with nobody. I would at
That's
least like him to retire with OKC, maybe. Maybe I could have gotten
that's
him the chip he never got.
fair, fair. I don't know. I think he wants to play though, and I don't know if he fits into, you know what I mean, the rotation. I mean, look, you got AJ Mitchell. You know, he's coming along. I mean, I
Mentor
don't know
nice
if Chris Paul just wants to sit on the bench and just be a
play,
be a
player
cheerleader,
coach, player coach,
player coach.
player coach.
Udonis. I don't know if
Udonis
he's
Haslem.
I don't know if he's Udonis. I think he could still I think he still wants to, get out there and get G. But yeah, no, that was a great season. And once again, congrats to Shai, on another great year. I
Next
mean,
up, well, continue. Go
oh,
ahead.
I had another question. Like, what do you think is? I don't know if we had this conversation. Like, what is valid? And I mean, we got a lot to talk about, so I don't. Hopefully, we won't spend too much time on it. But like, what is valid MVP criteria to you? Like, is it top, like, best player on the best team, or is it like dropping a triple double as a center, but we're not the best team, but like we're good enough though? What is some, like, is there like a set criteria? Because I mean, the Nuggets were the third best team in the West. I mean, like, is there a set criteria for MVP? You think?
There's no set criteria for the MVP. I don't think there's ever been a set criteria. It's whoever people decide at the moment. Um, I feel like you're always gonna have like three players who play really well, and someone's always gonna get snubbed one way or
Yeah,
the other. And it's just a matter of who the voters want to give it to this that year. I firmly believe there's been some years where somebody keeps getting the MVP, and then they're like, all right, we can't keep giving it to this person. We're gonna give it to the other person.
Fair,
Or
fair,
I think there's
fair.
years where they're like, damn, here's the MVP award. Now leave us alone type of year.
Stop asking about it. Jeez.
Yeah. You want an MVP? Here's the MVP. So
Nah,
I don't think
nah,
there's ever a set criteria. I don't think there'll ever be a set criteria either.
you don't think they'll ever be?
No.
No, no, that's fair. That's a fair take. Yeah, I was just curious because that's tough. I mean, like, what do you like? You don't, and you can't really just say wins because it's a team game. Like, and if it's stats, like, what are we doing? Like, what are the like stats? Like, is it just the high score? Like, you know what I mean? Like, is it, you know what I mean? Like triple double? Like, is it? I mean, impact? Like, is it offensive efficiency? Like plus minus? Like I don't know. Like, it's so many different ways you can like go with it. But yeah. But no, I was just curious though. But yeah,
That's a good question. Do you agree or do you have a different answer?
no, I definitely agree. I mean, it's tough. I think probably, I guess winning and stats, I guess was is probably the best formula. I mean, like the best like minimum formula I could give you now. Like if your team's winning and you're a big part of your team's winning. Like without you, like it just goes into shambles. And I mean, there may be both multiple guys, like that, but one person's team may be better than the other. So, that may get the edge. But then it's tough though, because it's like it is a team game. So it's like because the person has the better team, you know what I mean? Should they really get the MVP? I mean, I don't know. It's tough.
Yeah, I agree. Next up, nothing else. Nothing else. Okay, see.
Nothing else. Shout out to Shai. Let's make it number
Next up,
three.
next up, we have shout out our former Orlando Magic coach Jamahl Mosley, who recently just got hired as a coach for the Pelicans, and he also got a 5-year contract with the Pelicans. So good for him.
Come on, talk about your coach, man.
Me, I always knew Coach was gonna get a job very quickly. Um, Obviously he took us from the trenches, to making the playoffs. So shout out to him. Shout out for everything he's done. Um, I like Coach. I like Coach. He's done a lot of great things for us, like I just mentioned, and it's so well deserved. Um, I'm actually more impressed that Pelicans gave him 5 years. Um, which I have a question on that. I don't know if I should ask it now or later. Maybe I'll ask it now. How do you feel? I feel like it's become the standard to give coaches 5-year contracts. In a sense, why is that the standard? And why don't most teams kind of give coaches like a 3-year prove it type of deal? Like like there's teams that are paying like 2, 3 coaches right now because they hire a coach, give them 5-year contracts. 2 years, they realize he's not good for the team, they fire him. So now he's gone and he's getting paid. Actually, mostly I think it's probably still getting paid by the Magic, and now he just got
Hmm.
another job. So that's an example. Oh,
I
I
think
always
so.
wondered why it's always goes straight to 5 years and not something lower.
That's a good question. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I think I'll start with just Mosley himself, and then probably I think I could work an answer in there. I mean, uh, shout out to him, for a great job. Um, did one of us predict this? I feel like we said like somebody said Pelicans.
I think so we
Um,
threw it out because Pelicans had an open job.
yeah, okay. But in terms of the 5-year deal though. No, you're right. It is standard. You don't really hear like 3-year deal or a 4-year deal. It's got to be something. It's got to be like a tax. It's got to be money, like money involved, like somehow. I mean, we're talking like millions, possibly billions of dollars. So it's got to be some type of something that maybe the owners, maybe it's like an incentive for the owner or something to have 5 years. Because yeah, 5 years is a long contract. Now, I mean, just from a face value answer, my answer would just be probably it's a bad team and you're giving the coach time to kind of, you know what I mean? You're giving the coach time to, you know, it's going to be a bad organization. So you're giving them time to kind of, get things going, and establish a winning culture, right? I mean, that's what it took. That's what it took Mosley in Orlando, right? First season there, he was 22 and 60, right? Last year, well, this past season, before they got bounced, 45 and 30. I'm sorry. 45 and 37, right? So we're talking you're losing 40 games, right? Well, no, sorry, 60 games to you're cutting that almost in half to 37, right? So something worked. So he something worked. And I mean, I don't know if the Pelicans are going to follow that formula and give him 5 years. I actually have a follow-up question to that later, but I mean, I think if he did it with this Magic team that started with what? That team, that 2021, 2022 team, Robin Lopez, Jalen Suggs, I mean, like it was Trent Frazier, like it was spooky. You know what I mean? And those are all hoopers. Don't get me wrong, like they're all hoopers, but just in terms of a team that's competing for a championship, like you don't even think of like that as a team that competes for a championship. But you get pieces, you get Paolo, you get France, you know what I mean? You develop Wendell Carter, you know what I mean? And you develop Jalen Suggs even, and they're a perennial playoff team. Okay, maybe not Suggs, judging by your facial expression. But Paolo and France, you get those two. But yeah, I think he's definitely seems like a developmental guy though. And I think that's perfect for this young Pelican squad, with Zion. Just maybe hopefully he could bring something out of Zion that no other coach has ever, been able to bring out of him and maybe bring a different sort of attitude. But, just judging by from what I've seen, I mean, they're definitely going to compete defensively. I mean, that's definitely going to be a thing. And I'm curious to see the kind of culture that, he brings to, especially a city like New Orleans. It's just kind of, it seems like a great city. I haven't been yet, but it just seems like a great city, but and I'm curious to see like what he could bring.
Yeah, I think he can bring some great stuff to that team. I do want to. I want them to kind of get him maybe assistants around him that are kind of offensive focused. Um, I think he's a great, amazing defensive coach. I think sometimes in the half court, um, it's kind of questionable sometimes. I think that's the area where he probably has to grow a little bit more. Um, but I think with the young squad, he'll be able to make something happen. He
Yeah,
took
I
he
mean,
took us out from the trenches. Maybe he could do the same thing for the Pelicans.
yeah, I mean they got some guys, right? Derek Queen, um, Trey Murphy, Zion Williamson, DeJounte Murray. Uh, so they've got some guys. They've got some pieces, So, um, and it's interesting too because this squad, like, I think he could do some things, right? Just because, I mean, they kind of got a similar makeup to the Magic, but possible. I mean, you could correct me. It's your team. Like maybe some possible upgrades at certain positions. Like Dejounte is essentially a better point guard than Jalen Suggs. You know, um, Zion and Paolo. I mean, Zion win at 100%. Like, I mean, Paolo is like that, but like they're in the ballpark. Like they're in the same ballpark. You know what I mean? Trey Murphy's a great wing. I mean, France may have the edge a little bit, but like it's not too far off. So okay, but maybe a big edge, but like it's similar makeup. But I love that he actually has like a point guard. that he can work with, you know what I mean, in DeJounte Murray, you know, like a true like floor general. So I'm curious to see. Like, I think he could do some things, you know. And DeJounte is a defender. Like, he can defend, and you know he'll have a off season to get healthy. Zion just he'll have an off season, you know, to get it together. And yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see how they do it. You know, Jordan Hawkins off the bench. Um,
Jordan
yeah, I mean, they've
Poole.
got Jordan Poole, you know. So we got some guys. So I mean, we'll see how it goes though. I'm excited though.
Shout out to him. I wish him the best over there.
Now, the only thing I wanted to bring up as well, and I don't, and you could correct me if this happened with the Magic or if he was just a bad coach. Not well, not bad coach, but like I don't want to say bad coach. Like maybe bad situational coach in certain situations that maybe you should know as a head coach. And maybe he'll learn, maybe he'll use those experiences and bring them to Pelicans, right? But the question I wanted to pose was, will he get a chance to fully kind of live out his work? You know what I mean? And you could, and maybe a question within that maybe is, was his firing justifiable? And I'm speaking from the standpoint of, like I said earlier, 22 and 60 in his first season. And four seasons later, that team in his fifth season is at 45 and 37 in the NBA, right? So that's the start, and this is where they finished. And clearly he didn't really get to finish what he was kind of building, you know. And like you said before, like yes, there were some mistakes made as a head coach, but like I'm curious, like will he get that same, like will he actually get the kind of finish his work? You know what I mean? Like if he does rebuild the Pelicans, you know, like will he be able to kind of live that through, or will he just, you know, kind of bring another franchise up from scratch and then kind of just have to like, oh, he has a couple of bad playoff series and then you're out the door. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm wondering like if he'll actually, well, I guess first, like if he learned, you know, from I guess some of the mistakes that he made, you know, in the playoffs, but then also will he get like an opportunity like once he I feel like, and I mean I'll say once he, because I have confidence in him, you know. I mean he did it once, so why not do it again? Like once he does rebuild the Pelicans, like will he still, you know what I mean, get that, like will he kind of still be able to live his work through, you know what I mean? That's a tough, I mean it's a tough question. I mean,
Will he get to live it through with the Pelicans?
yeah.
I'll be honest with you, probably not.
Oh, okay. Why you say that?
It's just that I feel like we live in an era of basketball where it's so easy to fire a coach. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
I think as soon as expectations are high and they are not met, it's very easy to fire him. And I'm going to
Mm,
use the Magic as an example. When we walked into the season, everybody was we were a top three seed. We ended up being the eighth seed. So it's much quicker to put that blame and get him out of there. Seeing as how he underperformed, um, and was not able to coach the team to what they expected it to be. Um, so but I do believe that he'll take maybe some of the lessons that he learned from the Magic and kind of grow um, from them. Some of the mistakes, if there was an issue with him losing the locker room, that was speculated. Maybe he's learned from that. Um, you know, maybe he's learned on how to better utilize certain of the personnel on the team or the
well,
offense. There's a lot of areas that he could grow, but I just feel like it's so easy to fire a coach nowadays that I don't know if any coach is ever gonna get to see it through. It's very rare.
well, it's tough to keep a 3-1 lead. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like it is. I mean, so nah, it's tough though. Yeah, and you're right. You know, coaches definitely have a shorter leash than maybe players. Um, than maybe players do. But yeah, we'll see though. I'm excited though, just for new beginning, and yeah, it should be exciting.
Next team. Um, how do you feel about the comments made by Miles Turner? Um, where it seemed he saw it was on a boat that was sinking, and he decided to make those holes a little bit bigger, on the sinking ship.
I like that. That was good. That's nice. I like that.
That
Uh,
was,
that was good. That was good. How do I? What are my thoughts? What are my thoughts? Um, if I'm his teammate, first of all, I mean, you threw your teammate under the bus.
how
Um,
we don't know how long they're gonna be teammates. I mean,
for now, you threw your teammate under the bus for now. Giannis is definitely probably out of there. So he must definitely know something that like he must know that like Giannis is out of there. Like there's no chance that Giannis plays in the Bucks uniform next year. For you to like throw him out there like that, like that's a little wild. Now, not I'm not justifying being late. Like being late to a $1 million job is I mean it's quite bonkers. But I mean when you've signed a couple max contracts that Giannis has, I mean I'm sure he's set. I'm sure he's set for life. But yeah, it is interesting. And then to throw the coach as well, under the bus as well. I guess in terms of just allowing kind of certain undisciplined actions. That was interesting as well. That was probably the first time I've seen maybe even a current player kind of just throw the coach under a bus. And he did it, yeah, that was tough. I mean, and just how he did it, you're still playing, you know, and the only problem is with this, right? Also, it's just future, right? Like it's also current teammates, right? Current Milwaukee teammates. It's like, yo, you're gonna go on a podcast and talk about me? Like next, can we really trust you? Like, is this really a locker room where everything kind of stays in here? Or are you just gonna like go and what I mean, go on a podcast with Brianna Stewart and just talk about us like that. So yeah, I think that was the only thing that kind of threw me off was just kind of just ratting out your teammate. You know what I mean? When you're a team. You know what I mean? So not to say Giannis was right if he was late, but yeah, it's that how he did it was just a little questionable.
kind of going based off of that when you were talking about like how his teammates might feel. What if, in the grander scheme of things, his teammates agreed with him? What if he said it because maybe there's a bigger divide in the locker room with the rest of the team, and maybe Giannis and Doc Rivers. Um, so maybe this was something he's talked, and the gossip between inside of the team. This could have been the gossip, and he just said it out loud what everybody else was thinking.
But why go on a WNBA podcast and air that out?
The whole team could be feeling like that. If you know
Yeah,
Giannis leaving at this point,
yeah, but I don't know. This
no,
is how he did it. He could have just did that a better way. I mean, I guess it is cool, I guess, to see what goes on. You know what I mean? But like, if I'm his teammate and you're kind of like ratting me out, like that's just not. I don't know if that's okay. I don't know if, like if that was me as a teammate, like and like you, and then you just kind of like just throwing everybody like
they ain't
under the
gonna be
bus.
teammates for long.
Yeah, it's like you throw him under the bus though. Like that was the only thing that was like it's just kind of questionable. But
Maybe he's standing with the rest of his team.
yeah, could be, could be. But yeah, Giannis is definitely out of there though. Yeah, he's I don't know. I mean, last I heard something about the Heat, maybe the Heat, but yeah, he's definitely out of there though.
The Heat is in every conversation for every star. Pat Riley hasn't woken up yet, so
Hey man, he finally figured out dang it, what's that grocery store app that delivers your groceries?
Instacart.
Instacart. Yeah, he finally figured out his Instacart password, so he doesn't have to go to Publix during trade deadline again. You
I
know
don't
what
know,
I
bro.
mean?
He's gonna look at the stats of the games and be like, "Bam scored 83. We don't need another star. We have Bam out of bio."
Bam and Giannis in the front court is actually kind of enticing. Not gonna lie. I mean, I ain't mad at it. But yeah, so you're saying that maybe, so you're saying that he got the okay from his teammates and it's kind of,
I
he
don't know
kind
about
of,
the okay, but I think he just said the silent part out loud.
there you go. And that's what I was gonna ask. Is that cool? Is that okay?
I don't know. I mean, it depends how you look at it. Like if you're in a work environment where somebody isn't, you know, where someone's getting favoritism, right? You wouldn't necessarily like that person. And if somebody said that out loud, that person's getting favoritism, you'd low key be happy that somebody said it out loud.
But to kind of combat that a little bit, yeah, I see where you're going. But what is the purpose of even doing it though? Like, is
Good
it to
question.
degrade? Like, is it to like what outcome are you getting by leaking locker room information? Like, are you trying to like
I
put your?
stand I stand with the rest of my team against Giannis.
I
That's what
guess
it is.
I mean, because like what positive outcomes? I mean, if that's the outcome, then I mean, I guess, but like I don't like you threw your coach under the bus, and then you threw you know your
Former
best
coach.
player under the bus. Like I don't know, because I mean, like what positive comes out of this? Because it's like
There's nothing positive about the Bucks. I mean, come on now.
exactly, it's nothing positive about like just going on a podcast and talking about your teammate and coach. But I digress. I digress.
Anyway, I mean that's all I had before we get into the games. I don't know if you had another topic.
Oh no, we all good. We ready to go?
All right. So you had mentioned earlier. I think last time we were still awaiting the Spurs, Timberwolves, Cavs, Pistons
Hmm.
outcomes. As you mentioned earlier, OKC will now be facing the San Antonio Spurs. Um,
Shocker.
they won in six. How do you feel? How do you feel?
Um,
Or how do you feel
yeah,
about that series
about
matchup?
what?
The War Wolves Spurs. What are your thoughts on how that series played out?
Spurs are good.
Mm,
Spurs Spurs are really good. Uh, dominant center, dominant interior, great guard play. A 3 and D wing. I mean, you've got defenders. You got guys that's willing to defend. You've got just team that competes on defense. You got a defensive anchor on both ends of the floor. Well, no, I ain't not a defensive anchor. Like you have an anchor on both ends of the floor. You have a defensive anchor and then you have an offensive anchor. You've got a defensive anchor that could control the paint, and Wemby. Then also Wemby, if need be, can dominate the paint as well, being 7'4" and barely having to jump to dunk, right? So it's like, I mean, it's tough. That was a tough matchup, for the Wolves. Spurs are they just had too much firepower. I mean, just not enough offense for the Wolves, essentially. I wonder what the Wolves do this offseason because I mean, I know Ao Dosunmu he had a pretty good half of the season with them. He will be, I think he's going to be unrestricted, right? I believe, yeah. I think he's going to be unrestricted free agent. So, um, curious if they bring him back, but he's probably going to he probably did himself a favor and made him some good money, um, for this offseason. But if you're the Wolves, I just don't know how you build. I mean, I'm not sure. I don't think their draft picks are going to be too high either. So, I don't know. I mean, I don't know like what you definitely need a point guard, for sure, to kind of set the table. But oh, do you know what you have an idea on the draft pick?
And then they trade like five of them for Rudy Gobert or four or something like that.
Probably.
So I don't know if
That's what
they
I'm.
have any. I don't know
They
what
probably
year
don't
they
have.
traded them. So, but
They
with
probably
that,
don't.
it's like outside of the draft picks, I was sitting here and I was looking at this roster. Like one, when you mentioned Ao, I think Ao made a comment that he was like he's excited for free agency because it's the first time he's like he could actually go through the free agency process or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe not a good time for the Timberwolves. He's excited
Yeah.
about free agency. Um, and just when you look at the Timberwolves, like obviously they have a great star in Ant.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but now who's that second star? Because
Mm-hmm.
Gobert's getting paid a lot of money, and he's there for the defensive, not necessarily offense. You would think the other person, I guess, who some people could say could be his secondary star would be Julius Randle. Um, but I don't know if Julius Randle is necessarily a good second star to have, um, especially
Like
when he gets in games.
I need to depend on you like every night. Like you got to be there for me like every single night. Like J Dub, like you gonna depend on Shai. Like Shay's gonna bring it every night, but like J Dub's also gonna bring it every night too. Like so, like Shay, I got you. Like you know what I mean. Like it's not you don't gotta go out and try to get 50. Like I could throw in a 20 piece or a 25 piece. You know what I mean? Here, so right. So it's like I could have a 40-point game in the finals as well. You know what I mean? So it's like that type of thing. And I don't think Timberwolves really have that type of piece. You know what I mean? I mean, you're going up against De'Aaron Fox and Stephon Castle, like two dynamic, slashing, like aggressive guards. You know what I mean? And they're gonna come at you like all night. You know what I mean? And let alone and add on top of that a 7'4" creative player. Like I mean, it's just too much. It's just too much for a team like Minnesota. It's kind of relatively small a bit. Like you don't really have much size after Gobert, and then Gobert, like you said, is limited a bit offensively. So you're losing points on the board. You know what I mean? Because he's not really going to get a stop every time down the floor, right? Spurs are just that good. It's not him. It's just the Spurs are that good. So he's kind of a liability out there because he's not scoring points. He's not going to get stops every time down the floor. So then it's like, and he's pretty much your only big besides Nas Reed, who's kind of like a tweener. What Nas Reed's maybe what 6'9", 6'10", something like that. But he's not really built like that. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's just a bad matchup. Just a tough matchup for him.
Yeah, they have to do something, in my opinion, to get Ant some help on the offensive end. Just can't
Yeah,
rely on. I don't know. It's just
because
yeah,
I could see him getting. I could see. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he just gets impatient. I mean, like small market. It's like a small market team. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you can remain loyal, but at the end of the day, I'm sure he would want to win. And he wants to win. And yeah, like you said, you gotta do what you gotta do as a team to make that happen.
yeah, yeah. And then from the Spurs side, I mean, it's not much to say on the Spurs side. They
They're great,
won. I mean, they're
bro.
doing amazing things out here.
Like I name that like I name Fox and Castle. I ain't even mentioned Dylan Harper. I mean he's great too in his own right as well. So they've got options. They've just got endless options. I mean it's just
And, and they got Pop coaching them now. Um, he's been out there in the training facility with them. So
for sure. You know what I mean? So you got Pop coaching you. You've got unlimited options at the guard position. It's a good problem to have. Sure, good problem to have.
And then on the other side, we had Cavs, Pistons, um, went to a game seven. Both of these teams went to game sevens, round one and now round two. Um,
Hmm.
and just like the Wolves, um, I think the Pistons have the same issue. Um, and I've been saying this for a while now. You need a secondary scorer next to Cade. And always rely on Cade. That was their one downfall. Why they did not advance. They don't have somebody next to Cade who can score that ball. You got to make that adjustment.
And I don't even think K had the best night offensively. You know what I mean? Like he was like 5 of 16 from the field. But yeah, no, you've been saying it. You literally been saying that all season. Uh, yeah, I mean they definitely do need somebody else. Uh, you know, they just don't have enough, right? And the guys that you need to have it, they're not gonna bring it every night. Like you're not gonna depend on the Tobias Harris every single night to kind of get you 20, 25, 25 a game, right? Like that's not realistic. You could put that on Cade, yes, but like Tobias Harris, I mean, he's a vet. Like he's supposed to just get in where he fit in, and just provide what the team needs. So and having him to be like kind of a secondary primary scorer, it's a lot. You know what I mean? I'm sure you would love to have like a Jaden Ivey in this type of series, just another scorer, but clearly that didn't work out. But I mean, Cleveland, they just they started to click. Their offense started to get going, and they really started to kind of click offensively, and it worked. And you even like hear Kenny Atkinson say like to purposely like even a game plan being as simple as like just avoiding the Pistons' best defender in Asar Thompson, like wherever he is. Perimeter wise, let's make sure the action is on the complete opposite side. You know what I mean? To just kind of like we don't want to even give him a chance to make a play. Like I mean, sometimes it got to be that simple, just to kind of get that going. And that's the thing. And I think I may have touched on it, or one of us may have touched on it in the last video we did regarding the series. But like I think, and you said it too, scoring. Like yes, they do need secondary score, but I mean they also just need scoring in general. Right? Like they just like the competitive, and I think I talked about it last episode. Like the competitive stamina is there, like the competitive stamina is there, right? But a team, and then like I said, like you're facing, and then I mean to even think about it, like it's even wild. But like James Harden and Donovan Mitchell in the same backcourt, you know what I mean? Like two prolific high volume scorers that could just get it going at any point in time. And it's like good luck. And if they both get going, oh man, like series over. You know what I mean? But like you're playing those type of scores. So you're not gonna, even though you're a very competitive defensive team in the Pistons, you're not gonna hold those guys down for 7 games too long, right? Like you may hold them down for 2 games or something, but 7 games, like that's a lot to ask for with players of that talent. So that was definitely gonna be a challenge. And then when their front court starts to come to play too, I mean, Jared Allen had 23 in the closeout game. Evan Mobley had 21 in the closeout game. So, the guard play was great. And then, Jared Allen and Mobley come to play. I mean, uh, you know, have Cleveland looking like one of the more complete teams out there.
And when you have Jaron Allen and Evan Mobley come to play, Jalen's Duren's max contract extension odds keep going down and down and down.
Hey man, I think he still might get it.
A
Still might get
max?
it. I don't know. Do you not
It's
give him
the
the
big
max just off of one playoff series? Huh?
it's the biggest issue that they have in this playoffs was that they did not have a person who can create their own shot. outside of Cade when the pressure is on and they needed it the most. You think they're gonna take that money and give it to Duren, who has not played well these series? And when he has played well, I think it's because he's been set up very properly by Cade.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like, what would the max be though? Because like I'm thinking like Christian Braun, like maybe like a Christian Braun type deal, four. I don't know. I don't know what the max would be though. I'm trying to think of like what that might be. Like a
Evan Mobley making like 42 or something? The max is something
uh
crazy like
yeah, I think
that.
so.
Max.
So you saying maybe he should give like what in the 30s maybe?
I'm looking at them now. An NBA
Mobley
rookie max.
Mobley
Uh,
did sign a wild contract too.
so if we're looking at the 2022 draft class, which is Ben Carroll and J Dub, they signed 287 over 5 years.
Oof,
287.
sheesh. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, I see what you mean.
287
I
divided by
still think
five.
he's gonna get it
That
though.
that's if we divide 287 by five, that's $57.4 million a year.
I think he's gonna get it still. I think he's still gonna get it.
$57.4 million a year.
I mean, we've seen Wilder, bro. Like we've seen.
I don't know.
Like
I
I
don't think he
would
gets the max.
not to say like it's a guarantee, but I wouldn't be surprised if he gets it. I'll just say that. Like I wouldn't be surprised if he gets it.
I don't think he gets max. He might get under. I think he's gonna get a lot of money, like
Oh, for
right
sure.
under the max. I don't think he's getting no max
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
because there's bigger issues that the Pistons need to address, and it's that secondary score. You can't dump all of your money in Duren, and Duren wasn't very playable in the playoffs.
Yeah. Nah, but I think yeah, I mean, yeah, like you said, I mean, JB Bigstock definitely has something brewing. Um, but yeah, I mean, they just need a couple more pieces, you know. And give Marcus Sasser some more minutes. Jeez Louise. Like he's like, why is he sitting on the? I mean, I love Dennis Jenkins. He's nice too. So I guess I see why he's on the bench. But oh, Marcus Stassi, like he could score that ball, man. Like he could really score that ball. But but yeah, I think yeah, it'll be an interesting matchup, next. So Cavs will go on to face the New York Knicks. Um, so what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on the series? I mean, um, yeah, just
It's gonna be a very interesting series because you have one team who's taken 7 games each round to advance versus the Knicks, who somehow clicked out of nowhere and have been steamrolling, playing the best basketball they've ever had. So honestly, at this point, it feels like can the Knicks continue that same road that they were on, seeing as how they basically had a week off on vacation because
hmm
they were so good they swept.
yeah.
So can they keep that momentum going in order to beat the the Cavs because they have what Bridges and OG are really good defenders who they could
hmm
throw them on top of Harden and Duren. Harden and Duren, Harden and Donovan Mitchell. But who would
Yeah.
get the big men? Because Cat wouldn't
That's
necessarily be
and
a
that's
good
where I was gonna
defender.
go. Yeah, I think Mobley and Allen are definitely gonna be the X factors for this series for sure. They could figure out a way to kind of exploit the inside. I mean, Mike Brown may have to, if they do have a good enough game one, in terms of Mobley and Allen, Mike Brown may have to combat that with a Mitchell Robinson and Cat lineup, just to kind of compete with that size a bit. And I mean, Mitchell Robinson, now if you're Evan Mobley, it may be tough though because I would probably think that Mike Brown would have Cat on Mobley, and then which if he does have to go that route, if Mobley and Allen have a great enough game one, like if he does have to go that route, I would probably see him putting Cat on Mobley and then Allen on Mitchell, just cause I mean yeah, and then Mitchell on Allen just cause just the speed. Like I don't think Mobley is I don't think Mitchell Robinson's competing with Mobley from a lateral quickness type of standpoint. And I think Mobley's definitely gonna have to utilize his quickness. Now Cat is not like a big old slow poke, but I think Mobley is definitely faster than him. So Mobley's definitely gonna have to utilize his athleticism this series. And I mean, like you said, that big contract, right? Like this is the time to kind of show that you're worth it, and the team made the right decision.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I think it's really gonna come down to how they play, they match up with those big men.
Yeah, so that'll be something. Yeah, I'm definitely watching. Uh, but yeah, early prediction. Who's going to the finals? Who's your early prediction?
Okay, see.
Okay, see, agree.
Mm, we're gonna go to Knicks just because I think that'd be an interesting matchup.
Yeah, it
Um,
would.
I want to see what the Knicks fans would say about OKC. You know,
James
those Knicks fans
Harden
are
back.
crazy.
That would be wild. James Harden back in the finals against his old team would be like that would be pretty cool too. Just from a
Yeah, yeah,
storyline,
that's
just from a
true.
storyline perspective. But
Is that who you got? OKC versus Cavs?
nah, I think Knicks. But
Knicks.
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I could see OKC Knicks. I could see that happening. I wouldn't be surprised if the Cavs like if the Cavs front court come to play, I think they'll have a chance. They have a chance
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah, I agree.
But yeah, you got anything else?
Nope.
Well, we appreciate y'all tuning in. If you made it to this part of the video, thank you. Like, comment, subscribe, and subscribe if you like the video. Like the video. Comment your thoughts, finals thoughts. Yeah. Who's making the finals? Who's winning the Eastern Conference, the Western Conference? And yeah, that's all I got. Got anything?
Nope. We out.
We out.